Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond.
Hey, what's up, guys? Conquest MMA back with a UFC 318 recap. Prediction. Holloway Poirier 3. Shine bright like a diamond. Yeah, I'm not picking Poirier, bro. Listen. Retirement fights do not go well. I know I hate to be the numbers guy. And to be honest, I'm not going to be the numbers guy because I don't know the statistics. But retirement fights, when the guys, no matter the outcome, set to retire, do not end well. Especially when they fight elite talent. I think I've only seen retirees. It was like Robbie Lawler beat Nico Price. Nico Price ain't no like fucking ranked welterweight. You know what I'm saying? Nico Price is one of the slowest human beings on this earth. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but like Max Holloway is one of the greatest mixed martial artists to ever do it. Now, let me go on a little rant about Max Holloway. Max Holloway, you know, I've seen some comments about people saying that, like, Max Holloway's, CTE, he's fucking slurring his words, that. And, I just have to say this about that. Max Holloway is just a, empty-headed person. When I watched some of his videos, his prediction videos, and honestly, he doesn't really say anything insightful. You look at his interviews, and I don't know. He's kind of like, I don't know. He doesn't really say anything worth remembering. To be real, he doesn't really have like an enrapturing personality. Poirier is funny because he's like salty. He's like a sore winner. Holloway's like a little bit of a sore loser. After getting, he says Gaethje hit harder than Ilya, and I think that's just delusional. You know what I'm saying? That's delusional. And cope. But Holloway's a fresher guy. Let's just talk about the trilogy or the duology. First fight. Holloway debuted on short notice. We're most on the Hawaiian scene, which is not very big. Right? I haven't seen another Hawaiian talent. Holloway's the outlier. So they got him in on short notice against Dustin Poirier, who was 23. So a 20-year-old versus a 23-year-old, long ass time ago. Long ass time ago. That was like 13 years ago. Barely. It's not even worth mentioning at this point. I mean, it's a good notch on your belt for Poirier, but like, how much can you brag about beating a short notice debutee? You know what I'm saying? Not much, but their second fight, which is worth more worthwhile mentioning. I don't think Max, like people say like I've heard some things about Holloway's like style, like has barely changed over the years, and I just think that's wrong because in Holloway's fights, I think after a point where Holloway like absorbs so much damage, Holloway adapted a new style where he was like more on the back foot, more like looking out angles from the back pocket. Like he did it with Gaethje, he did it with Topuria. He didn't fight like that with Poirier. I mean, he fought on the back foot, but like their second fight was Poirier. Holloway was making his lightweight debut in the UFC for the interim fight, and Poirier was an established lightweight. They the striking totals were even. I think it was like a 10 significant strike differential. Uh, I think I think it leaned more towards Poirier, but Poirier landed the harder shots because Poirier was, accustomed to the weight class. I don't. I think. I don't know if Holloway properly bulked for lightweight in that fight. You know what I mean? And Poirier is not washed, but he is on the decline. He's a bit over the hill. 36. It's not a bad age, right? We've seen guys like in the 30, like age 35 in the lighter weight classes, succeed. But granted, they are some of the best fighters ever in Pantoja and Volkanovski. But I don't think it's a bad Poirier, but people are gonna say he's like washed out. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. I think I see this a TKO for Poirier. I'm gonna be honest, because Poirier's defensive work is he does rely a lot on his chin. And honestly, when I know I've said Holloway is more of a I started fighting more in the back foot, more like rangy. But when he does swing in the pocket, but when he is in the pocket, he sits more on his punches. And Holloway does have it does have some of the most finishes in the UFC. Granted, he's had a long career, but still, so has Whitaker, and Whitaker has some of the lowest finishing rates of any fighter. So, yeah, Holloway. I think it's gonna end in a finish for Holloway. I don't think Poirier is gonna be able to finish Holloway. He couldn't do it in the second fight against the undersized Holloway. But I think only Poirier is gonna have. I mean, he finished him in the first fight, right? The debut. You can submit Holloway. I don't know. It's more feasible for the average fighter to submit him than to knock him out, which the average fighter is probably not even going to beat Holloway, but it's more conceivable for submission. I think Holloway, but I don't even know what round. Maybe like the fourth, the later rounds. I don't know. Holloway has more power in his punches because he sits down on them more. Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov. Now, I heard some guys say that Costa. I don't know. I heard some guy. Look, you look at the money line, you look at the odds. Plus 200 for Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa has, Paulo Costa is only 14-4. In his last two fights, he's only lost to top 5 guys. Roman Kopylov is notorious for gassing out. He can't handle pressure. I was like, well, Costa is, 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Now he has overrated power. Okay, he was undefeated 5 years ago. He has 11 knockouts, 2 decisions, and 1 submission. And like I don't even know. People say he has like elite Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Like he only has like 1 submission, dude. He only has like 1 submission, and he's from an era where guys are, for the most part, strikers. That's just cope. I don't even know. Costa is a funny guy, but I don't think he takes his career too seriously. To be honest, I think he leverages his social media presence for contracts, and I think at this rate, it's do or die for Costa. And I think he's not going to be able to do it against Kopylov. Kopylov has momentum. Has beaten Caesar. He's beaten. Okay. what's put me more faith into Kopylov. I know he has a bad gas tank, but he can string up a 3 rounder. Like the first round, Kopylov can outstrike anybody in this division, right? He can tune up anybody on the feet, right? He's just built like that. But and sometimes the second, but he slows down. He slowed down against Curtis, but then he picked it up in the third. But against Almeida, he he was willing to wrestle. That's what pushed me. Like he would shoot takedowns. He's not just like these old middleweights, the old guard of middleweights from like from Izzy's era, where they would just only stand up. He's like part of the more modern era, where middleweights, like the renaissance, the middleweight renaissance, ever since Pereira knocked out, like between the period between where Pereira got knocked out by Izzy and Izzy got like fucking dog walked by Strickland. Between that, like these guys started getting on the come up. Kopylov is too goated. And honestly, I'm gonna be real. Kopylov's my boy. Like this guy is so fucking goated. Kopylov's so goated, bro. So fucking goated. I love his fights so much. And he had like a stinker against Almeida, but come on, bro. Everyone gets one bad fight. And honestly, this could be a bad fight. I don't know why they made it the co-main. I don't know why they made this shit the co-main. Cause Kopylov, listen, this is either gonna be a fucking highlight reel knockout for Gotilov, or Kopylov might have to resort to smudge wrestling. People say Costa's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is legit. Against who? Who's it been tested against? He just strikes with these guys. You know what I'm saying? I mean, fuck, dude. You can say you could have elite jiu-jitsu all you want, but it, like, it's like this with American wrestlers, right? If it was a wrestling match against like MMA fighters, they would win. But like MMA wrestling is different, way different. When someone can fucking punch you in the face, knee you to the body, it's a whole nother thing. That's why Cejudo is not the best wrestler in his division. But if it was straight up wrestling, he would be like champion like 10 times over. So it's like that. He doesn't have, I don't know. Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez, D-Rod. Now I'm rooting for D-Rod, but like Kevin Holland, I'll be real, I don't really like Kevin Holland. I don't like that he copes about his career. Like he says, "Oh, I'm not even trying. I could try if I wanted to." I'm like, "Come on, bro. Just fight. Just fight, okay? Just fight." And that's what he's doing. I hope D-Rod wins, but I don't think that would happen, to be honest. Probably knockout. TKO, not knockout. TKO, probably. What can I say? I feel like everyone had like the same opinion about me with Kevin Holland, but honestly, these MMA fans are pretty fickle, to be honest. Like all you have to do is win a bit, and then people will forget that they don't like you. They'll crawl under from under their fucking holes they came from, and just switch their opinion on you, which is okay, I guess. But I'm not that easily swayed, and I don't know. What do I have to say about this? I don't know. This could be a decent scrap. Danny gives Patricio Pitbull. I don't know why these odds. I don't know. Ige should be like a 250. Ige's gonna hold it down for the UFC. Probably knock out Pitbull, because Yair was too respectful for the Pitbull. He's kind of slow. I mean, he dropped Pitbull. Dan Ige is we consider Dan Ige like a gatekeeper, journeyman ish. Journeyman-ish. Journeyman. Pitbull's like 38. Old ass man. He's gonna get knocked out. I know he has like the power or whatever fuck. But Bellator fighters suck. Bellator fighters suck. The B leagues are the B leagues for a reason, you know. And yeah, that's all I have to say about this fight. There's a reason why they won't fight in the UFC. You know, they only fight in the UFC when their pay got shitty or like they were offered no fights. Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zellhuber. Now, it made me so very happy when Michael Johnson got a win in his last fight. Michael Johnson is fucking bruh. Old ass man. We got a lot of old ass men in this card. That's okay. Now, whatever, I could, recently that the older guys have proven to, scorch the younger guys, but that was like in like, that's only like welterweight and up, to be honest. Lightweight, I mean, you could do it in your like, if you're like 38, right? But Michael Johnson's like 40 or some shit like that. Like 40. Like well over middle, let's like middle age. Daniel Zellhuber, he has 2 losses in the UFC. His last fight was a loss, but it was against like that. Fuck, dude, how do I forget his name? He fought the guy that looks like fucking Kevin Gastelum, and got robbed. He got robbed against like lightweight Kevin Gastelum, skinny Kevin Gastelum. Fuck, dude, that was a good fight. Fight of the year. Daniel Zellhuber wins his last fight. Fight of the year. Daniel Zellhuber is fucking probably gonna knock out Michael Johnson, unless Michael Johnson knocks out Daniel Zellhuber, which Michael Johnson has, in case you didn't know, wins over Tony Ferguson, Edson Barbosa, and Dustin Poirier. So we have Dustin Poirier's father fighting on the card. Yeah. I don't know what's next for Michael Johnson after this fight. What is this, bro? I don't want to see this. All right, Kyler Phillips versus Vinicius Oliveira. Kyler Phillips coming off getting fraud checked by Rob Font. My glorious king, Rob Font. Top 10 gatekeeper all time. He's like the GOAT gatekeeper, to be honest. Versus Vinicius Oliveira. Looks like a dried raisin. Yeah, that's all I have to say about his physical appearance. He's goated. Vinicius Oliveira is fucking goated. 3 rounds. He can go 3 rounds. He's enduring. He's fucking extremely skilled. So good. And he's probably candidate for like, he's either the dark horse or like the second dark horse. And even though he looks like a dried raisin, he's only like 29. So he has plenty of, years ahead of him. Kyler Phillips is young too, but come on, bruh. Your striking ain't all that. Your striking ain't all that. How you training with O'Malley and your striking ain't all that, man? Did he gas out or was he just getting outstruck by? He just got the takedown stuff, but fucking, I think Oliveira is more athletic than Font. More skilled, is more proven. Let's fucking go. I think we're... Yeah, okay. This is, as I see it, mismatch of the century. Holy shit. We got like one half of the most dog shit ranked middleweight I've ever seen. Marvin Vettori. Marvin Vettori is so fucking terrible. So slow. His only redeeming quality is that he can get his shit kicked in and still form a coherent sentence. And sometimes he can't even do that. This fucking guy is so slow. He was slow. He wasn't that fast before, but after he came back to fight Dolitze in the slowest fight. They look like they were fighting underwater with low gravity. I don't even know how to describe it. You had to like watch it live. It was the most low skill, horrible fight I have ever had the displeasure of watching. Roman Dolidze ain't that good. He's a flukester. You know what I mean? But like, to be fair, how much of it is a fluke if you can consistently fluke somebody in the same way? He fucking breaks ribs. What is up with that? Huh? But still, Brendan Allen is better everywhere, I'd say, except in more physical aspects of the sport, such as durability, chin, and that's about it. Brendan Allen is taller, slightly longer reach, but reach is okay, but like height is more important. Height is like way better than reach. Brendan Allen doesn't even need to fucking grapple with Vittori. You know what I mean? I was like, come on. Brendan Allen can fuck his shit up on the feet. I don't know if he could fit. Listen, I don't even know. Maybe, I hope if Brendan Allen could finish Vittori, that would be huge, and that'd like get the wind back in his sails, because Allen was on a good run before he fought Fluffy, and he had like a pretty good fight against Fluffy. I remember I did say in that video when I predicted that, I said Allen was, I was kind of worried because even though Hernandez has like a win over Allen, I was like, Allen is probably one of the most underrated guys in the division. Still, he's still really good. He had like a 29-28 decision against fucking Imavov and Fluffy, back to back, fighting Imavov and Fluffy. Those guys are fucking, top 10 material. Fucking Imavov should be the guy fighting next for the belt. It shouldn't be Hamzat. If the UFC was based on merit, it would be Imavov fighting for the belt. Because in what world, like, KOing Izzy does not get you a title shot? We're fucking beating Whitaker, I love Whitaker, but Whitaker is one of the most overrated fucking fighters today. He's like overrated, but now I don't know. He's like very likable, and people just want to say good things about people they like. But I like Whitaker, but he is very overrated. Very overrated. I overrated him heavily in Holloway as well. Well, I overrated Holloway in that fucking in that card because of my my hate of Ilya after what he did to Volk. I'll never forgive him for that shit. But that's for another day. Yeah, Allen's gonna kick Vittori's shit in, bro. Oh, but I will say this about Allen. Allen does not make smart. Allen is dumb. Honestly, he does not make good decisions for how skilled and well-rounded he is. So much potential. He does not make smart decisions. He just doesn't. He just doesn't. Okay, he was having okay. In the first round against Imavov, he instantly took Imavov down, had top control for the entirety of the round. What does he do with it? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And yes, he tried to shoot on Imavov and throughout the fight, but he couldn't get any and he just, I don't know. With Anthony here, with Fluffy, my goat, having success on the feet, it looked like he hurt him. That was like an eye poke, sort of. He punched him in the eye. Come on. Fucking clearly showed that he was better on the feet. Oh, Fluffy had a rib injury, and it was on antibiotics. Look at all the excuses I'm making. That's true though. That's true. That does make you slower. But even at a subpar Fluffy that night, Fluffy wasn't at his best. He still decided to grapple with Anthony Hernandez. I'm like, what the fuck? Allen just doesn't make smart choices. He's not like, I don't know, if he had like an X factor. You know what I mean? Like with DDP's X factor is he can go hard all 5 rounds. With Hamzat's X factor is he can shoot takedowns so low that they'll get you. And he's just so strong. With Izzy's X factor is he has a very long frame and he knows how to use it. And I'd say like Whitaker's X factor is he's very fast He's like a very fast karate striker, right? Like a lot of champions have X factors. Like Merab's X factor is his cardio. Ilya is his boxing or power, I guess. Allen don't got none of that. You know what I mean? He's not like tall. I mean, he is tall, but he's not like tall like 6'4" or 6'6" or something. Or doesn't have like one hitter quitter power or anything like that. But Allen's enough to deal with Vittori. Vittori should retire, bro. Francisco Prado. Prado is like, I think he's only lost in the UFC. Former lightweight. I'm going with the fucking Nicolay. And I think Nicolay isn't even that impressive. I think this is a mid-off, to be honest. Atabek Gatier versus Robert Valentin. Robert Valentin arguably got robbed against Torrance Finney. And he's gifted with a guy who has potential to be a fighter in 3 divisions. Just look at Atabek Gatier. Look at his measurements. This guy could fight at heavyweight. This guy could end his career as a heavyweight. He's fucking huge, jacked, and he's like 22. I'm going with Gatier for the knockout. This guy's scary. Adam Fujic versus Islam Dulatov. I can't believe Dulatov's getting fucking edits made out of him, even because he's like a former model or whatever. There's just so many queers in the MMA space. There's like you guys know about the fucking Conor McGregor leaks, and people are just asking in the comments for someone to send a pic. Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute is the only guy who can consistently get draws, and within a reasonable span of time. It's not like a 10-year gap between the draws. I guess I'll go with fucking Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute, I don't fucking know. Yeah, I'll pick Jimmy Crute. Ryan Spann versus Bresky. I'm picking Ryan Spann, but if he doesn't win this fucking fight, I'm never going to pick him. Listen, I know I'm making the same mistake picking Ryan Spann, who's an idiot. Ryan Spann's a moron. A fucking moron. Low IQ Spann, but I'm picking him because he's a former light 205er, and Brensky's a fucking terrible. Bruno Ferreira versus Jackson McVeigh. I'm picking Bruno Ferreira to knock out Jackson Ferreira in the second. And that's it for this video. If you made it this far, thank you very much for listening to my ramblings and picks and predictions. I appreciate if you liked or subscribed. That would be goated. Or comment or whatever. Anything helps. And I'll see you in the recap. Bye.